How you doing, guys? Happy Saturday. Apologies, it's taken me a little while to get the next video out. It's just been a really busy week, really manic week. I do have a lot of footage, so I need to go through it all, get it all edited, and get the different days of my life videos out. But I've literally just managed to stitch some bits together from one of the days this week and put it together. So enjoy this video, guys, and yeah, if you've got any comments or anything that you want to share, just drop a comment below. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Right, first job of the day. We've got a Worcester Green Star Junior, 24i Junior. Going to be giving this a full service. The customer's been having some trouble with the filling loop, so I've brought a new one with me. For the full service, I'm going to be changing the electrodes, bearing plate, gas tube, and obviously seeing if there's anything else that's needed. Hopefully not. But yeah, let's get the case off and have a look inside to see what the condition is. So on initial inspection, visually actually pretty clean inside. It looks like there's did I speak too soon? Looks like the heat X has got a slight split on the seam just there where you can see the brown crusting, but other than that it doesn't look too bad. A little bit of rippling there. It's probably where it's been running a little bit dry on water. AAV's okay. Overall, looks so far so good. No surprises there. Vessel is flat as a pancake. I think what I'm going to do is, while I've got it all drained out, I'm going to change the integral filling loop over, as the customer's having some trouble with it. So I've got a brand new one here. That's the part number for it. If anyone's interested, you can screenshot that. Now, I've not done one of these before because I've never had a problem with them. But yeah, it comes with loads of extra screws and washers and O-rings and little mesh gauze in there. So I don't know if it's different ones for different models, so I'm going to take the old one out, have a look how that one's set up, because to me it looks like this has already got the O-rings on it, so it should be a case of greasing it up, popping it in and doing the little screws back up. Probably might even be able to get away with using the same grub screws, but yeah, there's 2 6 here, but there's 4 on there, and I don't think, no, there's none underneath it. We've got 2 there and 2 there, so we should only need 4. So I don't know why they've got 6, but I know with Worcester bits they do sometimes give you extra screws and washers and O-rings and stuff depending on the model. So yeah, let's get this one out. Again, I'm going to freestyle this. Don't need to look in the MIs. It looks like it's literally loosen those 2 grub screws, loosen those 2 grub screws, and pop it out. Bloody hell, that was a lot more effort and work than I initially imagined. So we've got it out. The 2 grub screws on the return side were a lot tighter than they were on the cold main side, and also this support bar here literally hits the front of there. So you saw me in the time lapse, I had to undo this 1 screw down here to bring that forward to give me a bit more room so I can then pop it forward. Another thing that Worcester's great German engineering have thought of, PIV right at the back, need to change an internal filling loop. Let's make it even more difficult for the engineer. It's just some madness. But anyway, looking at this, so I think I just need to put that gauze filter in, because comparing the two, the O-rings are the same, but don't need anything extra, so I just got to pop that little mesh filter into there. Doesn't need any additional O-rings by the looks of it. No, and that should slide straight in there. Okay, that's back in. Water's back on. No leaks, so that's good. So obviously I'm not going to fill up the boiler yet because I've still got to finish off doing the service on this as well. Now I can start the service on this, and I tend to use this to clean out the main heat exchanger. So yeah, let's get the fan assembly off, the banana arm off, take out the burner electrodes and have a look inside. Okay, so I've got the fan assembly out, having a look at everything. So bearing plate is actually in good nick. There's no splits, no signs of stress on it, so that's fine. The electrodes as well, I mean, the gasket is obviously flat as anything, but electrodes, I think they'll be fine. Give them a clean up, replace the red seal. The one thing I will replace though, regardless, is this gas tube, because although I can't see any splits or nicks on it, it's only a matter of time. You can feel it's going a bit brittle. So yeah, for how cheap this bit is, I'm just going to change that, but then obviously calculate the cost of not putting that in, or the bearing plate, because those two seem absolutely fine. Just to sort of show you to compare, so these are the new set that I brought with me, and these are the ones that I took out. So you can see that with a clean, they'll be pretty much as good as new. Right, baffles came up pretty easily, so that's a good sign. That means it's probably not too bad. Yeah, there's a bit of dirt, bit of grit in there, but I think that will clean out fairly well. Special tool needed again for Worcester. Special brush needed again just for Worcesters. They really don't make it easy for us. Right, so here's a little tip that might come in handy for some people. So whenever I'm trying to clean out the main heat exchanger, I'll open the, he says, open the filling loop, start letting some water in. So open the return ISO valve. Don't want it to fill too quickly. What's that? That's not too bad. Right, let's open that slowly. Okay, and now point that in and open. Oh, I don't want this to go everywhere. 1 second. There, that's what I mean. So open the vent, and what that allows you to do, right, let me get the flash on. Right. So that's essentially allowing me to flush the main heat exchanger out without having to pour water or anything into it. It's giving it a nice clean. Just be careful that that elbow doesn't pop off, and make sure that the vent shuts afterwards, because I've had that once on an open vent where it wouldn't close and I got screwed. Yeah, I'm just going to finish cleaning that up now. Right, let's have a look at this, see what's going on here. Not the worst. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. Give that a quick clean up, and then I need to siphon that out and top it with some inhibitor. So that's it, all done. Service record, just filling that out. Boiler is purring away. Let's just take that out of service mode now. So minimum maximums are done. Set that back to what they had and on to the next one. So this next job, we've got an Ideal Logic Combi. They've got one zone valve here, which is controlled by that thermostat, I think. And basically what's happening is, obviously when they put that thermostat on, it activates that zone valve, but then it also sends heating down this other flow pipe as well, which goes to the rest of the place. So it's basically, there's a shop at the front in here where I'm filming, or where I'm working, is like a little bed sit. So that zone valve is controlling the heating in the bed sit here, or the shop, one of the two. And basically when that one calls for heat, it's sending heat around everywhere. So I'm going to be fitting another zone valve there, so now they can both, you've got two stats there, so they can both be individually controlled. Kind of cutting a bypass there, going straight onto the return there, and I'm going to get rid of that, fit a Wago wiring center. They've got new thermostats, so I'm replacing that, and then wiring all into the Wago wiring center, and then giving it a test run. Should all work, shouldn't be a problem. So let's crack on with this. Right, so the pipe work is all done. So you can see there, added in the extra zone valve, fit the bypass, that's going back onto there. Luckily there was a little drain cock just down there, and it's not leaking. Pressure is back on, so about 1.5 bar. I've left both zone valves open as well to make sure that it was all going, circulating everywhere. I know it's not dead level, I tried to do it by eye, but I mean, I think it still looks better than the rest of it. I've done what I worked with, whatever I could. So now I'm gonna get rid of that. I've got a Wago wiring center. They want me to replace that with another Honeywell wireless stat. So change that over and get everything wired in and then test it. Right, wiring is a bit of a mess. So they've just used, I think, well, 5-way terminal block just for the zone valve by the looks of it. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I almost dropped the phone there. 1, 2, 3, 4 cables going into the boiler, and it looks like everything's sort of feeding off of this. So I'm going to change this up. I'm going to take permanent live from there into the wiring center, and then we're going to have our zone valves into the permanent lives, another permanent live going from there to the boiler, and then all we really need here is our live earth and neutral and switch live. We don't need anything else. Everything else can go from there. So we're going to I essentially only have one cable going here. So that's the plan. And then everything should go from there and there back into there, rather than a few bits going into there, a few bits going into there. So we'll just tidy it up a bit. Right, so the wiring's all done. So before we had 5 cables going into here, now we've only got the 1 cable going into there. That's got our permanent live, neutral, earth and switch live. We've got that thermostat going into there, which is talking to that zone valve. Then we've got that thermostat there, which is going into there and talking to the bottom zone valve. So I just need to basically tidy this up. The only thing I don't like about these Wago wiring centers is they only give you 2 cable entry points, and it is really small as well. So that one was a real squeeze to get in there. I'm struggling to get, I've got 4 wires to get into there. I've managed to squeeze 3 into there, but I've got 3 5-core cables and a bit of 2-core, and that is just not going in there. So I'm going to try and get some longer screws up my van to see if I can use the cable grip to hold on to it. I'm going to get some cable ties and try and tidy this up as best as I can. But main thing is that it's functioning and it's working as it should be now. Right, let's test this. So if I turn this one up, that should click on, and that should open that, which it is. And it's doing a preheat. Come on. Right, that's lit. Now we'll just double check that we have 240 at my switch live. Yep, I've got my 230 there. So we know that's running there. Now let's turn this down. That should click off. Yep, that's clicked off. Boiler's going to pump over on. Now let's test this one here. Not really big fan of these time guard ones. Let's see, that should click on. Just give it a minute, because last time when I came here and I turned it off and on, it took a minute or so for it to repair. Just gonna give that a minute and then we'll check it again. Right, let's try that again. So now I've got to press set on there. Here we go. Yeah, it's working. And we should get a demand at the boiler now. I heard the little click. Oh, there we go, central heating. Bingo. We're working. That's good, that's good. Right, now let's turn that down. That should click off. There's a delay with this time guard. There we go. Zone valve off. Boiler is going to pump over on. Happy days. So everything's working on and off. Obviously it's a combi, so hot water is working as it is. I'm going to get some cable ties and tidy this up. But yeah, so that job was adding a zone valve with an external bypass, wiring both zone valves properly, change the stat, and yeah, we are good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Right, last job of the day. Got a Salis wireless room stat which seems to have a mind of its own, so we're going to get rid of this and pop in a EPH CP4 wireless programmable room thermostat. These are my thermostats of choice. Never have any problems with them. Right, stat is installed. It's ready. So let's put that on manual. Flames on. Green lights on. Flames on there. There we go. So heating's working. Turn this back to auto, flame goes off, that goes off, room stat or timer off. Done.